Let's move on. That was Detroit. We're talking about the Eastern Conference shakeup. Overall, just the change that is going around here. We're talking about the overall seeds. We have the Chicago Bulls falling mostly. Notably, they are 0-9 against Miami, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. And then they're 38-17 against everyone else. But overall, they're also 0-14 against the top six records in the league because they're 0-5 against Phoenix, Golden State, and Memphis. So, I mean, to not pull out a single win against any of the top three teams in both conferences is just like wild to me.
Yeah, it's a little alarming to look at. We were talking about this before, where they're obviously a great regular season team, but can they do it in the playoffs? Are they legitimate contenders? And we weren't sure at the time. I think that's really struggling. I still think that's not the whole story. I still think they can make some noise in the playoffs. However, that's very alarming. It's something to be scared about. Because those games, even though they're during the regular season, most of those teams use it as practice. Like, this is like a playoff environment. We know we're going to meet you in the playoffs. We're going to get serious. And if you've dropped all of them, struggles.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not encouraging for how they're going to fare in the playoffs. You know, right now they are still like in firm position to possibly get a top half and get a home court advantage, but not necessarily firm. Actually, it's pretty shaky over there. So you got teams like the Miami Heat, though, playing sturdy and firm. You got Tyler Hero, who had 31 points the other day. He had one steal with that, 12 of 18 overall. Only one free throw to get to 31 points. And since the All-Star break, he is averaging 25 points per game. And his Miami Heat, they are the number one overall seed at 44-23, 2 games ahead of the Bucks. So this, I think, is a good opportunity to see if the Heat are going to actually show up in the playoffs again this year. Obviously, they made it to the finals a couple of years ago. People say, oh, that was the phony Mickey Mouse finals. You know, are they going to prove us wrong?
Yeah, the Heat. So I think the Heat, if they can stay in that first spot, I think they have set their roads to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that is, if they can stay, that's the best timeline they can get, because they would face.
They might face the Nets first round, though.
You could face. So, like, I can talk about the Nets, but here, so the Nets aren't as.
We'll get more into the Nets, yeah. but
Toronto.
You're talking about the Heat.
Yeah, Toronto. You'd want to face Charlotte, Atlanta. They're not looking that great. Typically, you'd think they're scary, but it's been a tough season for them. But even after that, you're going to face the winner of Chicago and Boston, both experienced teams in the playoffs. However, like out of all the teams in the East, those two are pretty. I'd rather face them than the Sixers or Bucks, right?
Yeah, I'd be scared of Boston right now, honestly. Like, the Sixers and the Bucks are both solid, but you know, most of the main guys on the Celtics have done more than any of the Sixers have done in the playoffs in their careers. So in my mind, why not? And they're playing well right now. They're rebounding a lot better. Like, the Celtics are almost in the 3 seed, believe it or not. Like, they are only a game and a half out of the 3 seed. So you never know. Like, those guys are coming up.
Yeah, this East is wide open. I mean, the Celtics really started looking like they're figuring it out. After all the shakeup they've had, they've tried things. They've had a completely different roster like 2 years ago. So they've had a lot to figure out, and it looks like they're starting to get all their roles. Everyone's fitting where they need to fit, and they're looking dangerous. They're looking like a real team, and Tatum's out there. He's making that Giannis jump.
It.
He's making
44 points the other night.
He's insane right now, and he's showing. He's like, I'm a superstar like Giannis. I'm a superstar like LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I can lead a team. Like,
no doubt.
Talk about Luka. I can do it for my team too.
He's a top 10 player right now in the league. You know, in terms of guys who are healthy, he's top 10. So,
in terms of
no doubt. Yeah, but like he's playing so well right now, and like, I could see them really carrying in the playoffs. But some other teams here, obviously, are the Milwaukee Bucks. They, I actually believe, have the best shot at the finals to repeat here, just because they have Giannis and potential MVP candidate, and alongside him, the best defending point guard in the league, Drew Holiday. And besides that, you've got multiple-time All-Star Chris Middleton, who averages over 20 points a game. So I think, the Milwaukee Bucks have as good of a shot as anybody, and they got people got to watch out for them.
Yeah, I'd say they're my favorite again after watching the Nets. I thought the Nets were my favorite coming out of that trade deadline because they were so deep, but I'm not sure about it right now. Like, the Nets aren't
hasn't paid off
great.
yet.
Like, it's not, you're not seeing it. Ben Simmons
hasn't played either.
You don't even know how it's going to be with Simmons on the floor. What's your starting lineup going to be?
Is he ever going to play?
Yeah, so that's a lot of, and even if they all come, they're going to have to learn to play together. I don't think they can make the finals. The Bucks are my favorite to go there. They're consistently great. MVP. Cash Money is still, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he has flashes, but I love Drew. Drew's best defending guard in the league.
Yeah, no doubt. He's exciting. I'm glad that he was able to win a championship last year. Like, that's a great team, and I think they're poised to repeat. Right alongside them in the standings is the Philadelphia 76ers. They've been on absolute fire since getting James Harden. And it makes sense that him and Joel Embiid are working out together now that I can see it. Like, they're just in such unison. And even outside of that, they've got a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who's, almost like a third head of the three-headed monster at this point.
Yeah, him and Tobias Harris could both fill the same role, but you have both of them on the same team. So, like, it's just great for depth. Then you have that guy that can hit shots. We'll talk more about how great Tyrese Maxey is later, but the 76ers, I'd put them as 2. I'd say they're the second best team in the East. They have the second best chance to get to the finals. If the standings are the way they are, then it's going to be interesting. One team we don't expect will make the conference finals because Philly and Bucks are on the same side of the bracket. So it'd be interesting to see who makes the conference finals if the standings were to stay or similar to the same.
It'll be similar to last year, with like the Bucks and the Nets had faced in the second round. So
right,
the Bucks ended up making it to the conference finals. So
yeah, and that side of the bracket's pretty wide open. I was just saying, like, the Heat are tough, the Nets are tough. They can get up there. Celtics, obviously, huge threat. Bulls, we'll see. So I'm glad that the East is now like this great competitive area rather than it was a few years ago where they're talking about just abolishing the conferences.
Yeah, I know. Like you literally can't say that the West is even better than the East anymore. Like people have been like wary to admit it, but the tide has switched completely. Like, the East is simply better than the West at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we may still have the Warriors and the Suns over here, but it's not the Warriors of old. And the Suns are amazing, but that's just one team. The East have like 16. Well, let me look at the standings again. They have 5 teams, like, okay, 4 teams. No, I don't. Yeah, like 4 or 5 teams that could make the finals, and I wouldn't like bat an eye.
Yeah.
Like, I could see it. Like, for sure, the Heat wouldn't be surprised.
Nope.
For sure, Milwaukee Bucks wouldn't be surprised.
Nope.
So, Philadelphia 76ers, and then the Brooklyn Nets. I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
And then maybe the Boston Celtics. Maybe
Celtics. Maybe the Bulls. But I got to see a first round from them to see how they do. But if Bulls do well in the first round, then I'm like, all right, well, let's see if they can make it.
We'll see. I mean, they played amazing early in the regular season here. They've been slipping, but they're going to get Alex Caruso back, it sounds like, and Patrick Williams.
That's great. And then Lonzo shortly after, I'm sure, hopefully before playoffs.
That would be awesome. I mean, to get all 3 of them back would be incredible.
Mm-hmm. Right. Tough conference, though.
Yeah, no, tough conference. It's going to be a fun playoff to watch, no doubt, because I just have no idea who's going to end up winning, and that's exciting to me. Like, I'm gonna tune in. I want to find out who wins it. I just need to.
Hell yeah.
Hey guys, like and subscribe to the video. If you guys have any ideas for videos, put them down below. If you guys want to talk about it, want us to talk about a trade, put it below. Like, if you want us to talk about anything, put it below. Put anything below.